videos where you have an officer basically around the neck area.
These two retired Vegas cops now podcast hosts.
They don't have ID. They can't get into a hotel room. To get them the help they need, especially if someone even gets arrested. A lot of people don't know how the justice system works.
But I want someone to actually know them and know that it's legit.
I see a big 2023 for this group right here.
I would, in general, be wary of the storefront psychic.
You guys have going on is necessary, it's needed.
You don't pay
Hey,
attention.
this is David Kohlmeyer, the problem solver. Gentille is making me laugh here. Welcome to the problem solver. I am David Kohlmeyer. I am here to solve problems here today. I don't know what problem I'm going to solve, but somehow I have these lovely co-host ladies that, besides laughing, we're going to figure out some.
You're usually the problem.
That's the problem. I'm the problem maker. We have Dr. G.
Hey,
Gentille,
y'all. Hey,
lovely co-host.
Hello.
Any kisses and cat noises?
Meow, 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 meow.
Okay, that's her
You
normal
like my
thing.
glasses?
I like you very. I'm glad you
Like
became. She's
like
also a
sexy
librarian.
librarian.
Yeah.
She's also a librarian this week.
Good.
And
I
she
need it to see
plays
that.
one on TV.
Yeah.
And then we have our special celebrity psychic. We have Laura.
Thank you. Always glad to be here.
Awesome. Today we have a special guest. We have, it should be a very interesting conversation. It's most likely, I don't think, with Silo here. Silo Moses, who's the founder of clicksdaily.io. He's not a dating expert. We can relax. Everyone can calm down.
No,
That's good.
I don't think
we're
he brought
ready
in,
to jump on him.
I don't think he brought any sex. I don't think he brought any sex toys. I think it's going to be like more about maybe a little bit more serious.
Oh, it's going to be kind of boring today, huh?
Yeah, you could always
okay.
throw.
I
mean,
love
we
AI.
could. I mean, we could talk about the sex stuff, but I usually save that for Saturdays.
Okay. Well, somehow dating and sex, if we throw that in somehow, whatever you want to talk about, that will make these ladies more interested. You know,
Okay.
in the
Yeah,
topic.
I already have some questions about that.
Yeah, that's good. So, Silo, thanks so much for joining us. Just to share with Dr. G and Laura, it's a new relationship that I have with Silo. Someone introduced us, a dear friend, and said that, he had a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience in regards to like artificial intelligence and online. So we met for coffee, and just he's from the East Coast and I'm East Coast. So we hit it off and say, hey, just come on the show. Let's figure out what you
Cool.
do. So Silo, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's awesome.
So it's a lot of fun, actually, I think, being on the show. I actually do think it's an experience to come on the show because it's fun. We don't know where it's going to go. Nothing staged. It's just, just kind of having a conversation. So tell us about, first of all, I guess, tell us about yourself, where you're from.
You hit it right on the nail, right? You hit the nail on the head. From the East Coast, originally from Jersey, born and raised. Moved out here to Vegas roughly now 12 years. So I feel definitely like a local now. Moved out here to get away from the snow. So I thought the best place.
Me too.
I was like done with it. I was just absolutely done. 6 feet of snow every winter. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Wow.
So moved out here, been out here for about 12 years now. Done a lot of work, have a great story as far as, the things that we do in the community, and now started a technology company about 20 months ago.
Oh, only 20 months ago.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you do it back in the East Coast?
No,
thing?
I did it here in, no, the technology? No,
Yeah.
I actually just did it by dumb luck.
Oh.
I was just bored
Okay.
and got with someone who knows how to write code, and they said, can you teach me? And it kind of trailed off into what we have today.
What? In that short period of time, you became like an expert already?
Yeah.
In your field? That's amazing.
Things
Yeah.
are shifting very
Yeah.
quickly in that space. So
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah.
When Silo told me, that he has, like a digital background and then like a specialty, I don't really know people, like even like at the studio here, they talk about micro content and TikTok. And actually, when we bring up different people, even with OnlyFans, I find it very interesting because of technology that it's very entrepreneurial, that you can make money and people are paying their bills, they're paying their mortgage, from this technology. Imagine if we didn't have the iPhone, we didn't have OnlyFans. And OnlyFans has been around, how long, a year or two or something?
oh no,
It's longer?
long time.
Yeah, it's been
But I guess
around,
now it's trending more?
It's
Yeah.
just all of
Yeah.
a sudden it's kind of mainstream.
How long?
Yeah.
For
How long?
porn for a long time.
Yeah.
Laura,
Yeah.
Laura, how long you been on OnlyFans?
I actually do not have an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I was
That was
actually
coming.
just kind of discussing before the show started with people here in the studio about, like, I'm kind of curious about it, but I'm like, what would because I'm not going to do sex. So, like, what would I offer on
Yeah.
OnlyFans? So I'm just thinking about
Gentille,
that.
can you help us? She doesn't
We
do sex.
mentioned, well, I don't have OnlyFans either, but we were just talking about how many times are you going to be able to show your little pinky, finger or pinky foot or whatever, or your backside until your fan goes, hey, bitch, I want to see more.
But there are celebrities
You know?
that they offer things that are nothing to do with sex. So it's not just a sex platform. So
Well, celebrities are probably different, obviously, until you make it, and someone's willing to pay you just because of your name, just to see your
but
face.
I could like offer something in the psychic realm or something.
So-
So that's what I mean. It can be customized
yeah.
to whatever it is that
absolutely.
is what you offer.
So I agree with you, and I actually feel, and my gut feeling is that I like marketing. So I feel like you should do my OnlyFans,
Yeah.
and it'd be interesting just to see, because if people follow you as subscribers, just because of you being a psychic, it's just another platform.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
And you don't have to do that. I mean, you could get into a
I mean,
bikini.
I don't mind.
You could go into a bikini as well and be a
posting
psychic.
fun photos that look maybe sexy, but I'm not going to be like nude or something.
I think the key is if people like her, people will follow her. Same
Yeah.
thing with you. You don't have to show anything major.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting just to try out. I mean, we made a joke once. It was actually very funny. I think it was prior. I don't know if you were on the show. It was prior. We had Beja and Danny, who both were co-hosts on the show, and I made a joke that I actually made OnlyFans for them. And the girl, on the show, Beja, she was so mad. Like, who the fuck are you? Make that, don't do that. She was cursing me out. And I said to her, I said, look, I'm going to tell you right now how much money is waiting for you, and you let me know if you want the money in that. So I told the girl it's $863. She said, I'll take it.
But
She
you're
said, "You'll
just-
take the money."
but you're just
I was just
joking.
totally joking.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but she wanted the money, So it was funny just to see. I'm like, I posted a bunch of pictures. People like you, got 56 subscribers. You made 863. And I said the same thing for Danny. So I just think it's cool. I mean, it's just technology. And I feel every week something new is changing, whether it's Facebook or TikTok. Like a few years ago, people would say Facebook was the big thing. Now they're saying everything's Instagram. And I'm still kind of like on Facebook. I kind of like,
Yeah.
it's like Uber or Lyft. Like, which one do you use, Uber or Lyft?
Uber.
So I use Lyft when Uber.
Search her or something?
Sorry, when Lyft is available, I use Lyft, because I have had some customer service issues with Uber. But some places there's only Uber, so then I use Uber.
That's funny. Like Colorado, right? It's just
Well, or
Lyft, right?
internationally, there's only
I only
Uber
have
in
one.
certain
Yeah.
places.
I don't know why. I always go to Lyft, and I feel like it's very like either it's better looking or it's more user friendly.
I think the
somehow
technology is probably
it's different,
a
right?
little smoother.
It's not as
Yeah.
like robotic or like numbery.
Yeah.
So I feel like I go to Lyft. I don't know why, but like I said, it's just really interesting. So anyway, tell us a little bit. Well, do you want to go into a story of your background, of how you got here? Any, we all of us basically have gotten have stories of where we got. Like I was a cop in New York City, and I came out here, and my story. Do you want to share a little bit of your story at all in regards to your life story?
Yeah, tell us all
yeah.
the past shenanigans.
The
Don't
past-
keep anything. Yeah, interesting stuff though.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Don't
try
put
and
us-
keep it calm.
Yeah,
a little
don't
bit.
put us to sleep. Come on.
Well, most people, like I said, I got into technology and really started working into it about 20 months ago.
Okay.
And most people don't know me for the technology side. They know me for like the stuff that we do here in the community locally. So we do a lot of giving back. We do a lot of like serving those who are less fortunate. Less fortunate to us is anyone who's unemployed, anyone who's underemployed, which is huge.
Yeah.
Like single mom, single dad, 4 kids in a household, can't keep food in the fridge. And then we also serve those who are homeless. So, and we serve them with fresh food, clothing, hygiene, haircuts, you name it, hugs, whatever they need. And we've been doing this now for close to now 6 years. And started that simply just like I started my coding, my AI company. Went out by myself, just curious, with a pot of spaghetti. And with that pot of spaghetti, I served 30 people who were less fortunate. I went home, told somebody what I did. The following week when I went to go serve, this time I brought 2 pots of spaghetti with me. I served 60 people. They served when someone went home, told somebody what we did, brought somebody back, and we just started to grow. And then literally in a year and a half, went from a pot of spaghetti to over 100 people working directly with me. And in 2 years, we'd served over 100,000 meals.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's separate from the AI company.
That's separate from the AI.
Okay.
That's how most people know me. Yeah.
got
And we
it.
still do those community events today as well. We do massive events. Thanksgiving Day, we serve anywhere from 3,000 to 6,000 meals in a day.
What is it called?
Serving Hope.
Serving Hope. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
And it's a nonprofit?
Yeah, so I would say this, we started off originally as a benefit corporation. So it's a corporation that can make money, but you have to benefit the community that the organization is in. Mm-hmm. So a big portion of your profits do have to go back into the community. So it's a kind of a flexibility between like a for-profit and a nonprofit, except that we get to make our own decisions. We get to make our own choices. No one's like coming up to us and going, hey, you can't do that. You can't do this. Like sometimes what happens with nonprofits.
Yeah.
I actually think that it's totally great to receive and then give, and I love the corporate model, so I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. So we wanted to be self-sufficient. We didn't want to have to rely on grants. We didn't want to have to rely on another 5K run or another gala to raise funds. We're like, no, we're self-sufficient. We can sell T-shirts, make money, and take $4 out of every $10 T-shirt that we sell and serve somebody a meal with it.
That's wonderful.
Right? So we did it because we were just rebels and we wanted to stand alone.
When I first started the Problem Solver, the goal, it was just really me. And then basically I would bring on different nonprofits and stuff like that. So we had, I think I mentioned to you before, Shine a Light, which I would love, not like I would say to share with you guys to go in the tunnels and see like what's going down, and people just have no clue.
Yeah.
The tunnels are just, even when I was a police officer, I went to the tunnels, but I didn't go that deep. When we went with Shine a Light, which is a nonprofit helping people, we go really, really deep into the tunnels, and there's people like living there. Like there's a kitchen, there's a stove, they're cooking with propane tanks. There's tents. It's just insane what's going on down there.
Oh, yeah.
And if you feel really bad and you feel like, wow, how fortunate that your life is. And I think that you more likely want to give. And if you've never experienced doing it, to support it, we actually got one of the law firms I worked with. I got like 75 backpacks, and inside was like clothes and things. So it felt nice. We were all carrying backpacks, and we dropped off backpacks to people along the route that we were on. And one thing actually that we have on the Problem Solver, I have an app. It's the Problem Solver.Vegas. I haven't really used that much. I need to get it out there more, and whether people use it or not. But when I did the Shine a Light, I said, you know what? Whenever people see like a homeless camp or something, like people just don't call the police. They feel bad. Like who do you call? And it's so difficult. If you call 311, like they'll refer you to different numbers, and if it's the county or if it's Henderson, like you just get you just give up. You hang up the phone.
Yeah.
So on the Problem Solver.Vegas, I have a spot which says homeless, and you actually can take a picture of a camp. It GPS the location, and then it sends it right now to Shine a Light, which they'll go out. And I want to add more emails to it, and then I want to do like a news release to let people know. So, whether people are going to remember the Problem Solver.Vegas, when people can call, I'm not sure if you know United Way, which is 211.
Yeah.
Do you know what 211 is? It's all
do,
resources. So you can call 211 right now and say, you know what, I have no money. I have no diapers. I have a child. Where can I go? And they'll say Catholic Charities. It's 0.5 miles away, or contact Hope Link, which is in Henderson. So 211 is a great number. Most people don't know about it. It's United Way. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's resources for people in Las Vegas, Clark County.
Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So Serving Hope, when is the next? So if people want to be involved in the program, they want to help out, they want to donate, or they want to be involved, what can they do?
Yeah, what really makes us special is that everything that we hand out, everything that we give out is food that comes from our own kitchens, and clothing that comes from our own closets. So it's like the clothing, the sweater you haven't worn in 6 months. That's probably a good sweater to give away to someone who's less fortunate. Yeah. The beans have been on your, in your cabinet for the last 9 months. It's probably good to cook them up and maybe give them out to someone who's less fortunate. So all the food and clothing we give from our own kitchens and our own, our own closets. Hygiene comes from our own bathrooms. And then we go out and we serve. And then we generally do this every week. So we'll do it every Saturday. And we'll go out and we'll just literally serve, on a sidewalk and be like, all right, let's go ahead and do this.
But you take donations from people as well, right?
Yeah, well, we do. Yeah,
Okay.
Let's say if you couldn't make it out on a Saturday, but you have a bunch of clothes you want to
Yeah.
give, sure, we'll send a driver to come pick them up, and a driver pick them up, and then we'll directly go and take them and hand them out.
Good.
So 100% of everything that we receive and take in, 100% of it it goes back out into the community.
Oh, that's so good.
So you can give us a sweater, and we'll literally an hour later there'll be someone who's less fortunate wearing it.
I love that. So you can literally call and just schedule a pickup. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think people are so busy, and that's a big issue. Can you share how is that different from, say, like Goodwill? I know I've heard a lot of things about
Well,
Goodwill.
Goodwill
Yeah.
is for profit.
Well,
he
there's
sells
for
it,
profit
right?
too.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't see that necessarily as a problem, but like if someone's thinking, oh, why should I give to you versus like Goodwill? What would be some of the differences?
Yeah, I mean, it would be exactly what I just said, right? 100% of what we take in, 100% we give out. We don't charge anything. We don't make anyone buy anything. It's all free. So when we receive free, we give for free.
See, Goodwill charges.
Right.
Goodwill puts it in their store
Exactly.
and
I
they
just want
sell
to make
it.
it really
that's
clear
Yeah,
for
I
people.
gotcha. Yeah.
Because Goodwill is a really well-known name.
Yeah.
I don't mind that you guys are for profit. Like I think that's fine, but I love that you're giving the things for free instead of like selling the things that people are giving.
I mean, we have a two-sided model, right? The one model is, we give away for free, and that's more of the charity side. And the other side is, if we need, let's say we're doing a backpack drive because we do tongue twister, backpack drives, where we sponsor an entire school. So if there's an elementary school with 1,200 students, we make sure all 1,200 students get a backpack, and all backpacks are filled with glue, scissors, tape, paper, everything they need to succeed. And let's say, we wanted to do that without doing a fundraiser. Well, we sit down, we have a brainstorm meeting, and we'd be like, okay, what can we create to sell to make this happen? Let's create snapback hats. Let's create gym bags. Let's create T-shirts. Let's create this. Let's create a sock line. And then what we do is we create the sock line. We put it out there. People buy it. People who love us and want to support us but can't come out to our events, they'll buy our products. And then what we do is we take a good portion of those products and donate it to that event. So we really run the entire organization on 30 cents. 30 cents out of every dollar actually supports the organization. 70 cents of it goes back into the community.
Yeah, because I used to work in nonprofit fundraising, and I worked in nonprofits myself. Like I was the executive director of a nonprofit, and then I worked for a combined giving drive where we would raise money from employees to give to a bunch of different nonprofits.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't realize how much money goes into overhead for a lot of nonprofits. And I understand they have operational costs, but you might give $1 and only 11 cents goes to whatever they're doing.
Right, yeah.
And they're like,
I mean, there's
about 90 cents goes to,
to admin and
admin. Yeah. And so, I think it is important to cover that and understand, that with the money that you're giving, how much of that is actually going to the cause.
Yeah.
30 cents out of $1. Okay,
yeah.
so, all right.
Yeah. So we keep 30 cents out of every dollar, 70 cents goes back into the community.
Which is very good. Very good.
And you want to talk about bootstrapped, like that's literally knowing your numbers down to the T, right? There's organizations out there, I'm not going to say any names, but there is one organization that's infamous for every dollar you give, they keep 90 cents and give 10
That's
cents.
That's exactly what I was saying. Like, it's a very well-known one. Yeah, I don't want to.
Do they disclose
90
that?
cents?
Do they disclose that info?
They have to, but it's not very
They have to
public.
disclose it, no? Which one is it? You can say it.
We can't.
You can't say
Yeah.
it.
No,
you
tell,
can't
us,
say it.
tell us later.
Yeah,
you
we'll
want
tell
to do
you.
charades?
But we can't tell people? I mean, just one letter?
Is it blood? Something?
It's a popular symbol.
It's yeah.
Red Cross? Red Cross?
It's a popular symbol.
Yeah.
Hands?
I heard you should charades with it. Like, is it Red Cross?
Well, I
Red
think
Cross?
the public should know as well.
Yeah, why-
that's what I'm
what's so
saying.
bad?
Yeah, I mean, if
Give us,
it's
like,
public
choices.
information,
Give us, like,
if-
5 of them.
if it's
Okay, so
public
what is a
information-
dime? What is dime, right?
Yeah,
It's
okay,
a dime,
got
right?
it.
10 cents is a dime.
Okay.
Now, what do you do when you go to parade? What do you see people do?
The road.
March,
Oh,
what's it
yeah,
called?
March.
March, what's it called?
Yes.
March what? March
But the Red Cross is another one that has
March of
a very
Dimes.
high
March of
admin
Dimes.
Yep.
as well.
I didn't know it was that much. That's
Oh, so
crazy.
Red Cross.
But they were in a long time.
March of Dimes,
yeah.
90 to
That's
$1.
crazy.
Yeah.
The other
90% they keep.
Thanks,
the other
Laura,
thing
for
is
sharing
that-
what nonprofit it was.
Yeah.
to throw into the bus, Laura.
Some of these
Powers.
nonprofits, again, because I used to work in this area, they also are known for having like really high executive compensation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And while I understand you have to pay for good leadership, like, sometimes the amount that I think they get paid is like very high for what they're not giving back to whatever their service initiative
I mean,
is.
when you work for a nonprofit and you're the founder or CEO and you're driving a Rolls Royce, something's not right.
Yeah.
And that's a real life
It's just
example.
a scam. It's
Well,
just another way to
kind of
scam.
like the I mean, not to be negative about it, but what's the pastor guy that has millions of dollars, like who lives in Atlanta?
Oh,
you know,
that
that
guy.
I mean,
that
there's
old
many
guy.
of those guys.
Yeah.
The one that got caught with the sexual scandal. That's
Again,
all
there's
of
many of
that's
those.
all of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
That's all of them as well. At some point, yes.
So in regards to, what is there a website for?
Oh yeah, AI. Tell us about that. What
Wait,
does
is
that
it?
mean?
Yeah.
Real
What
quick,
does that
Serving
mean?
Hope. Is there a website?
Yeah, we were born and raised on social media, specifically on Facebook. So if anyone wants to follow us, we have a group on Facebook that's got 3,000 people in it, locally here in Las Vegas. So you can just go to Facebook and search Serving Hope.
Serving Hope Las Vegas.
Serving Hope
Hope.
LV.
Yeah.
Okay, Serving Hope LV.
Yep.
So if anyone wants to donate, can you also donate money or?
We don't do anything with money because we're
so
self-sufficient.
Food,
Yeah.
So food and clothing.
So food, clothing,
And you'll pick up.
hygiene. We have barbers that come out on their days off and they'll do haircuts and they'll do stuff like that. So we're more people powered. So if you want to give back and help with us, the best way to do that is just to donate people power.
Do you know the street barber, Dana?
No, don't know.
Oh.
Don't know her.
I like the barbers. We've had Dana. He was a street barber that basically would go out and cut hair.
Should we get you a free haircut? From
Yeah, I need a haircut.
his
My
organization?
gray hair's coming in. I'm supposed to get a haircut. But it's been a
We
busy
would
week.
transplant you to a different place, a different house, though, before they come, to make sure.
All right, tell us about. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm so tired.
For
of
your
this.
free
you seem poor.
for your free haircut. I can't go to your house.
Thank God tomorrow's Friday. It's been a long week. I don't know where the week went.
I would say, hey, can you meet me on the corner of this and this? I need a hair.
I need a haircut.
I need a hair blow.
All right, tell us about clicksdaily.io.
Yeah. Clicks Daily is my newest baby. Started that again 20 months ago. I got with a coder. I was essentially bored. So I mean, when we were going through like all of the lockdowns and stuff, with Serving Hope, I was running that, and even though I had close to 100 people working with me, I was still doing everything myself. So it was pretty easy for me to go through a week and work 90 hours that week, just giving back, right, running the business and doing community events and setting them up, etc. So when COVID came, it was all of a sudden we're all locked in our houses, and now I have 90 hours of time freed up. I'm like, what the hell do I do now? Like, what do I do with 90 hours a week now?
I think that these times create
Only
a lot
things.
of products and creativity and everything, because all of a sudden we're like, well, what are we going to do?
Yeah. And
what you're
we
doing.
put a pause on our serving because we just didn't have any idea what we were working with, right, and what was going on. So we paused our serving during that time. So now I'm sitting around the house. I got 90 hours a week. I'm bored out of my mind. And I see like a lot of my friends are, they're posting on social media. They're drunk by noon because, 4 bottles of wine in. And I'm like, I don't want to do any of that stuff. I was like, what do I want to do? Well, maybe I can go out and work out in the park, which I did to stay fit, stay healthy, to get out of the house. And then I decided that I was just going to get into technology. I don't know why. It was just kind of like something hit me in the back of my mind, like a voice. I was like, why don't you do technology? And I'm like arguing with myself. I'm like, I don't know technology. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm talking to myself. And
Don't worry, Gentille does that all day long.
schizo.
She does that all day long. She answers
I'm
herself,
schizophrenia.
has a whole conversation.
Yeah, that's how I.
That's how she operates. But go ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I just started looking into technology. I've always been like really huge into social media. I've always been into like organically growing on social media. Back in the days of MySpace, most people won't even know this, but back in the days of MySpace, organically, I grew to 300,000 friends before anyone even knew that was a number. And then when I moved over to Facebook, I was part of the first 500,000 to join Facebook, and there I maxed out 5,000 friends with a week. So I was like, I kind of understood technology and how to grow organically online, but just never truly did anything with it. So when again, COVID came and I had 90 hours of free time back, I was like, I'm arguing with myself, getting into technology. I'm like, well, I only know social media and how to grow organically that way and build a community online. I don't know anything technical about it. So I reached out to a friend of mine who was a coder. We both sat down and, online, he was like, okay, do this. And I just started writing code. And as I started to write code, it started to grow. And I was like, I wonder if we can give this code a job. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm really curious to see if we could take this code and make it do something. Program it to do something, give us an input for an output. And then we just started to do that. And as we worked on that, we came to the point to where we have this artificial intelligence that we created now that's machine learning. And I said, okay, it would be really interesting if we can kind of take this technology and use it how I grew up on social media organically, where if we can create this so that it creates organic traffic online from search engines without traditionally having to pay for it.
So it's similar to SEO, but you're using AI to generate the traffic, basically.
Yeah,
Is that
generally,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
So what we've done is with our AI today, we're 20 months in, we've been working on it, testing it, we've been giving it to friends who own businesses. We're like, here, use this. It's not free. You do have to pay for it because we need some of our costs back, right? But we'll give it to you at a heavily discounted rate.
Just to
Use
try
it, try it, break it. Please break it. We need to know where the fail safes are. And then give us your feedback and let us know what you think. They used it, and like we have one guy who was with us for 30 days using the technology. He has a CBD business online, e-commerce shop. He went from selling like 50 units a day to almost 3,000 a month.
I'm totally excited, and I definitely want to talk with you more.
Yeah.
So one of the things was I figured
Yeah.
you'd come on the show that someone like Gentille and someone like Laura, being a psychic, of course, everyone wants the phone to ring. But what I notice is in social media, everyone's kind of talking about it right now. They're talking about artificial intelligence and this. What is that? Chat GT or something?
Yeah.
What's the thing
Yeah.
called?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going on with that yet. And there was like a seminar the other day. Another guy, this guy Bijan, who was here before, who
The
does
designer?
virtual host. No, he's a
Not
virtual.
Bishan, the
He has
designer,
like
yeah.
host, like probably in another country that virtual assistants, and
Yeah.
he runs
Yep,
them or
yep.
something.
Yeah, yeah.
But I saw he did a seminar the other day. I don't even know what that is. Do you know what the chat? What is it called?
I do.
Yeah, Chat GPT. Yeah.
So what exactly is that?
It's really an interface for you to be able to, interact with like code. And then that code, you ask it something and it'll kick out something. So it's input, output, right? And then you could do anything. So it creates all of this information, which is pulled in. It's like a super server. Think of it that way, like a mega server, where if you ask it anything, it's going to spit out something that's already out there in the ether. It's just going to pull it in and give it to you. And you can ask it to create a business plan for me for a new e-commerce startup, a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, 20-year plan. It'll spit it out in 30 seconds.
And
I heard
it's
about this.
fascinating because when you read it, it sounds pretty human. Like, it's fairly intelligent sounding. Occasionally there are things where you're like, but I think it'll also get better over time. So it's pretty impressive.
Do you know those movies that the computers start taking over and then killing all the human?
Yeah.
I think we're going in that direction right now because you're programming them to think on their own and do things on their own. Next thing you know, there's going to be an army made from just computers, and they're all going to fucking kill us.
If you haven't seen
take
it,
over the world.
I
And you
recommend
heard that here
seeing the movie Megan.
You heard that
Have
here
you seen
first.
it?
From the
Oh,
podcast.
I have not, but I heard it was good.
It's good. Yeah,
that-
if you're into movies about,
I'm telling you, it's
Megan
coming.
was an AI doll, basically.
Well,
Very
remember
good.
years ago there was Daryl. Remember Daryl, the movie that he was a robotic youth life form. Daryl would stand for Data Analyzing Robot Youth Life Form.
Was
Yeah,
that from the 80s?
Yeah, I mean you were around. You said you're almost 70. She said she
Well,
always says she's 70.
that's why I said. I think I remember it from the 80s.
Chase, if
I
you
don't,
could,
'cause I don't remember
Chase,
it.
can
No, I don't.
Why is this place is very painful these days? This problem solver has changed drastically since Daddy left. Chase,
We
can you
have a-
Google Daryl?
I'll Google it.
Daryl
We
Rubin?
have-
See if there's a YouTube so we can show it because that basically was like almost 20 years ago.
Silo, we have our
30
fan Steve that wanted me to ask you, how long were you homeless?
Oh, yeah, we didn't even go about that, but thanks for looking into my story while we're doing this podcast.
It's funny because that's we have a few superfans. Superfan Steve, superfan
Yeah.
Elvia,
We have superfans.
superfan Jason.
Yeah,
So
they're always
a lot of times
listening
they'll
every
Google the
week.
people
Nice.
while you're speaking. So.
Yeah.
Were you really?
yeah.
I thought he was kidding.
No, I was.
I'm like,
yeah.
come on, he's joking.
Yeah, I was homeless here in Vegas for 7 months.
Oh, wow.
So for
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
no. Yeah.
I mean, it's really common. So having raised money for homelessness, a lot of people don't realize how many homeless people there are, and also working homeless.
Yeah.
Like people assume that if you're homeless, that you're like a drug addicted on the street or something. But there's a lot of homeless families, working people that have 2 jobs and they're still homeless.
Yep.
So I was
Yeah.
curious what your specific situation was.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was living. Well, how do I say this? Okay. So right before I went homeless, I was working 9 to 5. Right. So I had a 9 to 5 job. Cool job. Nice little salary, etc. I was working for a company that did like credit, we'll say, right. And then what happened was I had this job with them, and the owner, for some reason or another, the business wasn't just working well, whatever that looks like. So I came in, I was running a team, we were making a bunch of money. I was making him a bunch of money, I should say. And one day I came in and the big boss was there, and the big boss, you never see him. He only came around if it was like, handing out like Christmas checks, right? You never saw him. And he was in the office, and I was always the first one in the office, always the last one to leave. That's kind of my work ethic. And I came in one day and he was there, and I was like, oh, whoa, you're here? And he goes, yeah. He's like, matter of fact, I need to talk to you in my office. I go, okay, cool. I strutted in his office because I'm the man, right? I was like, dude, I'm making you a ton of money. My team's kicking ass. Like, we're rocking it. So I'm thinking he's going to give me a promotion when we walk into his office. We go into his office. Before I was able to sit down, he basically goes, I got to let you go. And then I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I can't afford you anymore. Right. And I thought it was just a very kind of easy answer for that. You can't afford me? Great. That's okay. Like, I'll take a pay cut. Like, I got a team here. We're kicking ass. I'll make the money back in commissions. Can't do that. Gotta let you go. All right. Well, I mean, so what do I do now? He's like, don't worry about it. Just show up on Friday. I'll give you a severance pay. I'll give you a severance check. And then now at this point, I just have my son. My son now is 11, right? And he was a baby at this point. So we're going back a little bit. And when he was born, like, as a new father, no one really tells you how much you're going to spend on diapers, on like clothes, on socks, on just the little stuff. And at this point, I was already living kind of like neck above water before he was born. After he was born, it was like, It was like lights being turned off just so we can buy baby food. So at the time when like he fired me, it was like I was already 30 days behind rent and 60 days behind on my car payment.
Oh, wow. How long were you working there? I'm sorry.
I was there close to 3 years.
Oh, man.
So he goes, don't worry about it. Show up on Friday. I'll give you your severance check. Don't worry. I'll take care of you. And I thought, great. So as soon as I left there, I called my landlord and said, hey, listen, I'm going to have money for you on Friday. I just got fired. Don't worry about it. I'll find something new, but I will have money for you on Friday, definitely. Friday, showed up, went to the office, huge padlock on the door. Oh, my God. And the guy, I just happened.
You didn't get your last check,
nope.
right? Yeah.
I
Did
just
he fire everybody?
He didn't fire anyone. He skipped town.
Oh.
Took all the money. And
Took all the money and ran.
He left. Okay. Oh. Wow.
So I was
he
there.
He was going through some difficulty himself.
Who knows
apparently.
what he was going through, but I didn't get money I didn't get paid, obviously. So I called my landlord and said, hey, listen, this is what happened. He goes, I don't want to hear it. You're already 30 days behind. He said, you have until the weekend to make rent. If you don't make rent, I'm sending a constable on Monday morning. Monday morning came. I was able to sell everything in my house that wasn't nailed down, TV, sofas, literally just maybe like a loaf of bread in the refrigerator was all it left. That was all that's left in my house. Constable showed up. The rent was like $950. I had like $725, and I was like, "Here you go." He goes, "That's not $950. You got to go."
Oh man.
So and then that was it. So constables came, kicked me out. So and that was day one of going homeless.
Yeah. With your son.
Well, no. The best thing I ever did was I gave my ex, his mom, the car keys that we were 60 days behind on rent on the car payment with. Gave her the keys. I gave her the $700. I said, "I'm no good for you. Just go." And so she left. Today, it's a completely different story. Like, he's awesome. I talk to him all the time.
Okay.
They moved out of Vegas. They went back to her home state.
Okay.
But we still have that relationship, and whenever I can, I fly by and see him.
Yeah.
Right? But that was first day of, day one of going homeless.
So many people are one lost check, one medical incident from homelessness.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I learned when I raised money for homelessness is how many people, for example, become homeless due to medical debt.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So many people.
Yeah.
And the stereotype, I think, people is you're lazy, you're drug addicted, you have some kind of major mental health issue.
Yeah.
And that's simply just not the case.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not what you think of when you think of someone who's less fortunate or was less fortunate. I don't do zero drugs. I do zero. I rarely drink. I never, ever gamble. Gambling to me is like maybe buying a lottery ticket twice a year. Right. So it's like, I'm not that stereotypical thing. But when we see someone who's less fortunate, it's immediately where our brain goes.
Right.
Oh, mental challenges. Oh, alcoholism, etc. Right. So it's some of the stigma that we do need to kind of, break down as a society. And, if you really look at a pie graph of what triggers homelessness, when you really, really dissect it, 90, I would say in a pie chart, we have a good 27% of it is due to loss of income. Right. And a small sliver of 12% is alcohol. Small sliver of 10% is drug addiction.
Right.
Everything else that makes up going homeless is loss of income, is runaway because they ran away from home. Maybe they were transgender. Mom and dad don't like that, so they ran away. It's divorce is huge too. Parents divorce, kids don't know where they fit in, so they ran away. But very, very small sliver of that pie chart is actually what we believe to be the only reasons why they're homeless, which is alcohol, drug addiction, mental challenges.
See, I try to talk to each person that I come in contact with. If they're on the streets, I'll try to get their story and not judge. But it's tough, sometimes you see them and you want to help, and a part of you wants to give money, but it's like, okay, where's that money going to go, right? And then I try to give them food. If I have food, I'll buy them food, and they're like, oh, no, we don't want that, or we're allergic. I'm like, oh, you're allergic to food? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, so quite a few of that.
Most of that is just because they've learned from the past from people who came by and wanted to be or were pretending to be good Samaritans.
Yeah.
A couple summers ago, there were people who were going around, this is a true story, handing out sandwiches, like mayonnaise sandwiches, and they found out inside the mayonnaise was rat poison.
Oh, that's horrible.
See.
So when you come across someone who says, no, I'm not going to take that, it's because they probably had some kind of run-in like that before you showed up with whatever you're going to give them.
That's what these days, if I go out like with the kids and I want to do some, give back, I'll go get like McDonald's, gift cards, like $5-10. So, because they may not be hungry, right? People always say give food, how much food you can eat on the side of the road, right? So like you give a gift card, they'll go when they want. They can go get a drink, a soda, tea, coffee, right? So I like giving a gift card, and then McDonald's is more likely all over. They're more likely to get it.
Do you drive around with gift cards in your car?
So actually, the kids actually no, actually the kids
You
go.
do?
Yeah, at least right now I don't have them.
Well,
But
I
normally
want
the kids,
some.
I'll have 10. You like tacos? You
I love
taco.
tacos and McDonald's.
So we'll go buy like 10 gift cards, for like $10 each, and then the kids will actually say, "Oh, there's someone that's homeless,"
Yeah.
and I'll roll down the window and I'll give it to the person.
Oh, that's good.
They always say though, right? Really saying hello, how are you today, and treating people like a human being. I've always wanted to make a card with the United Way 211, and I'll tell people like, by the way, if you want help, if you really want help,
Yeah.
call 211. Do you know 211? And a lot of them say no. Whether they want to call it or not. A lot of people also they choose, or sometimes they are fine. Mental illness is one, depression's another, and then the addiction is another. Right, so it's hard to get people off. Even with Shine a Light, the goal is to keep going out there to build a relationship so that when they're ready, they know that Shine a Light will help them.
Right, yeah.
So it's great. Serving Hope, Shine a Light, all these programs are great. The more we can do to help people get off the street, I mean, it's definitely a problem. It's almost like a pandemic, in regards to these homeless areas. It's,
Right.
It's very sad. And I feel, when you see someone, I saw someone the other day, I didn't have any money on me, but she was actually by the Palms Hotel. I was passing by, leaving the event. And I felt bad, but there's a lot of people, it's like, do you stop every time that you see someone to give
Right.
money? And then
But-
sometimes you see the same person every day. It's like the same person.
that's
Yeah.
it. And when you talk to them, I mean, sometimes the stories, and I stay there for a while. I'll talk to them, like, hey, what's your
your story?
situation? Yeah, what's your story? I mean, where do you need to get to? And I would buy people things that they need, whatever. You need a bus stop, because they'll do the sign like, I need money for a bus, right, to go wherever. Where do you need to go? Actually, I will take you to the bus stop,
Right.
and I will buy you that bus ticket, and then I
Yeah.
come back and they're gone.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have a lot of those too. And I have a lot of people that I think they say those things, but then when someone really wants to help them, they really don't want the help.
They're just saying it on the
doesn't
sign
count
just
as
to
that.
get some money, right?
Well, they have to be ready. That's what we say. Like we say, we'll serve everyone, but we don't just serve anyone, right? They have to be ready. And generally what we found is like, not only have we done really great stuff in the community, we've given back, right? And we create these events where we're doing 3,000 to 4,000 meals in a single day, and we serve every single week. We've also taken people off the streets. And what I really mean is that they've taken themselves off the streets. We didn't do anything.
They have to be
We were
ready.
just a conduit, right? We were just the resources, but they do have to be ready.
Yeah.
And what we find is that readiness is generally within like 1 to maybe about 3 to 4 years of recently going homeless. After 4 years and on, they're already conditioned to the idea of not knowing or caring about what it is to unlock and unlock a door at any time, to turn on and off a light switch, to pay a utility bill. That's all gone now.
Yes.
Right. But if we can catch them in between 1 to 4 years, they still do remember what it's like to turn a light switch on and on, to unlock a door, lock a door, to pay a utility bill. So if you can catch them within those 1 to 4 years, you have a higher probability of getting them back into housing than you do catching someone who's been on the streets 10 years, 20 years. They're by that time,
Yeah.
they're already accustomed to being on the streets.
Yeah.
And that's where you come across those who are just like, no, I don't want that. I just want the money. Or no, I
Right.
don't want the resources. I just want this. Generally, that's probably going to be, and this is our thinking, right? This isn't all thinking.
Yeah.
Just the experiences that we've had working with those less fortunate is that if you catch them 5 years out, that's going to be the response you're going to get.
Got it.
So it's interesting perspective. I haven't had anyone say it that way, so it's interesting perspective.
I'd like to just say one thing too, which is most of the examples I think you guys are giving are the visible homeless. And most of the people are not visible, meaning they're working a job, they're living in their car, they're not out there begging for money. That's the majority of homeless people are not asking for money. They don't have the signs. They're just trying to get work, but they're just not, or get by, but they're just not making it enough to have a
I think
home.
the last time we ran the numbers, I think Las Vegas has close to 32,000 people homeless any night, on any given night.
I wonder if it's more. I thought it was like 60 or 70. I'm gonna check. So here's what we're gonna do is this, because it's kind of a sad topic in general, but I want to help basically homeless, which I've always done in general. But in regards to your technology, what we're gonna do is you're gonna share how we're gonna make money with your technology, and then we're gonna donate money back to your nonprofit. Also, I want us to go out there as well. So when you do stuff, I want you to let us know, and then we can gather other people to come out as well, so we can help Serving Hope. But tell us with the technology, someone that's like Laura, who's a celebrity psychic, and she wants more business, or someone like Gentille who does real estate. I get enough problems. So I don't.
It's just getting on top of the search, right?
Tell us what you specifically will do for these young ladies,
Yeah.
so that they're making more money, so that we can donate to your nonprofit to help others.
Well, what I read was it wasn't free, so there's a trial period, right?
But no matter what,
not free.
no matter
free.
what, it's going to be successful
But,
enough that we can.
Yeah.
You know,
That we're
here's-
gonna be making money
here's
doing
the
it.
thing,
It's a
like,
search.
if-
It's search engine stuff, though. Correct?
So
yeah, if you spend money but you make more than that, I mean, it's a profit. So.
yeah. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, what our program, our software does is we create multiple websites. So let's really dial it back for a little bit. So
Use it as an example for Laura, like psychic.
okay,
So my clients are usually business owners. I would say middle class to upper income, educated, wanting to answer spiritual questions or grow their own business through kind of psychic divine guidance.
okay, awesome. You have a website, right?
I
Obviously,
do,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Tell me how people interact with your brand once they come to your website.
So typically once they come to me, they'll either email me is the most common or find me on social media and chat with me. People typically come in and sometimes they hear me from a podcast or media. That's also one of the first places. Then they come in and contact me. And a lot of them jump right to booking a session, or maybe they'll buy a course or a book or something first, and then they'll book and schedule.
Gotcha.
And I'm a pay first and then have a session with me. So you pay and then we,
Gotcha.
and then we schedule.
All right. So those are multiple ways that they find you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you're doing to kind of bring these people to your website?
I have a lot of repeat customers and clients, and then the media is the big one: podcast, TV. Those are the two main ways that people find me.
Gotcha. All right. So, and another question here, final question. We could do this forever, but final question. So, when these people come to you, what is the service that they're most asking for?
I think they're looking for support. I'm by no means I'm a counselor, just to be clear, but they're wanting, an ear, and then they're wanting some support and information that maybe they can't get from themselves. And in some cases, they're looking for mediumship, for example, because like one of my clients today was someone who just lost their animal pet, their family friend, part of their family. And then another one was a business owner who's looking to up level from 6 figures to 7 figures.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, awesome. So what we would do with our technology, what we do first and foremost is our technology, what it's going to do is it's going to tap into Google. So it's going to tap into the back of Google's servers. Basically, when servers talk, it's server to server. There's no emotion like humans, like we kind of overthink things, we get emotional. When computers talk, it's just very simple algebra.
Data.
It's 2 + 2 = 4, right? So what we'll do is we'll tap into Google server first and foremost. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask Google for the top 1% of your niche and your category, top 1% of content being read. Then we're going to ask Google, what are the top 1% of videos being watched doing what you do in your niche?
Yeah.
Right? Not your videos, we mean the entire niche. Then we're going to ask Google, what are the top 1% of images being looked at in your niche? Right? Now what we're going to do is Google's going to send that back to us. Now what we're going to do, and this is there's so much more detail into this, but I'm really trying to make it simple, right? Without getting too techie and nerdy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all this stuff that Google has given us. Now what we're going to do is our AI is going to build out websites. And what we're going to do is we're going to build out these professional niche websites that are going to be built with the top 1% of content being read in your niche, the top 1% of videos being watched in your niche, top 1% of images being looked at in your niche. And we're going to build them out. And we're going to build out these websites at not just one. We're going to build out 5,000 websites, 10,000 websites. So we have a client right now at 60,000 websites we built out.
Oh my God.
60,000 websites,
How
different
do you do that
websites.
economically? That's
Our AI.
part of my question.
Yeah.
But because website hosting, let's say I'm paying for website hosting, it's going to be on the cheap end, $20 a month per website.
Yep.
So how do you manage that even financially to make it feasible? I'm curious.
Yeah. So without getting too much
AI
into
gives you money with it.
without getting too much into
AI prints the money and then you give it to Silo.
But generally, we already own a good portfolio of websites. So we have close to 200,000 websites that we own, that we purchased. So what we do is the first thing is we would look into our portfolio and see if we own any websites that we think in your niche would be able to attract people. So it's not going to be your name, psychic.com. Maybe it'd be like getapsychictoday.com
Right.
or speakwithapsychicnow.com, right? And then what we'll do is we'll create these websites based on the .coms that we already own. And then what we'll do is once these websites are spread out, we're going to get them ranked. They're going to index with Google, and then they're going to start to drive traffic. Now, this is the fun part. We have, say, built 10,000 websites, and we can do this in anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. All websites are built out.
Yeah.
In 12 weeks, we can get them indexed, and in about 13 to 14 weeks, we can get them ranking and driving traffic. Now, what's going to happen is these websites are going to rank, they're going to drive traffic. Once they drive traffic, our AI also kicks in an extra special benefit. And that benefit is all the traffic that's hitting our 10,000 websites that we built, we're going to redirect them to your homepage.
Wow. That's awesome. And then you better make sure you have a really good homepage that converts.
Yeah.
And all of our websites, I get roughly around 300,000 views per website.
That's incredible.
Sorry. That math was wrong. 300 organic views per website.
300.
So if we built you out 1,000 websites, those 1,000 websites times 300 is 300,000 views.
Right. No, I mean, those numbers are amazing. Because even if you have a small conversion rate, that's
so here's a good question. So I worked with a law firm that did criminal defense, and he was really big with like YouTube videos. Like he had every month they would make 10 or 20 different videos. So at the end of the year, right, there's like 240 videos. He's been doing it for 15 years, 3,000 videos, right? So it helps with like SEO, content, backlinks, all that stuff. Now with artificial intelligence, I think I heard from somebody that people are nervous now because basically all this work and all this money, artificial intelligence just basically scrapped all that guy's work for the last 15 years.
Or it can improve it.
Because if you use AI and you have that video content, right? Because it takes you.
Well, yeah,
right?
you're gonna have to pay for
Conversion.
it, obviously, right?
Yeah.
What does it cost? Just curious.
So
roughly.
and with the traffic that we create too, which is important, is we could send it anywhere. We could send it to your homepage, your website. We could send it to your YouTube channel, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your
Amazon
Instagram,
offer page.
Amazon offer page. We can send it anywhere once that traffic is created. So, and then once that traffic is created, then it's up to you to convert it. But we've done our job. Our AI has done that job once we send you those 300,000 people. And that's 300,000 people in a month, right? So you can literally go from your website, it's only getting 10,000 people to come to your website every month. And then say 4 months from now, 12 weeks from now, it jumps up to like 50,000, 100,000 people, depending on the campaign we built out.
I'd be so curious. So I'm a big believer in podcasting, long form content. And what I see with it is like, if someone listens to a lot of my podcasts, they often will come in and like buy a package with me, which is, it's a good amount of money because they have that know, like, and trust factor.
Yeah.
They've listened to me talk for hours.
Yeah,
they really feel like they know me. So if you directed traffic to like the podcast, for example, I typically get a good, conversion out of that. So I can see how this would be very, very successful.
Yeah, especially if you're getting a great conversion rate. If you're getting anything over 2%, you're going to get such great conversions, right? So I say 2% because most websites, most companies will get an average of 2% conversion on all their incoming traffic, whether it's social, paid, whatever that looks like. But if you're doing roughly around 2 or higher, you'll get a great conversion rate.
The other thing to consider, too, for anyone who's thinking of something like this is, let's say you're trying to get your metrics up on something. Like there's people that get TV deals or sponsorship deals because of their social media following.
Right. Yep.
Right. So, if you have 500,000 followers versus you have 5,000 followers, that's a significant difference in terms of your ability to make money in other areas.
Absolutely. So, and you asked, pricing. So, hearing about what the technology can potentially do, right? And if we're really looking at the math, let's say we brought you 300,000 people to your website from our AI and the websites that we own that are now redirecting people who are looking for you but just don't know who you are because it's all organic, right? It's all search, right? So they come to your website specifically looking for what you do, right? And we bring you 300,000 people. 2% conversion on that is what? Who has a calculator?
2% of what?
2% conversion on 300,000 visitors.
Times 2.
That's
6,000.
6,000, right? Now let's just say those 6,000 people are now engaged in your brand. They've now joined your funnel. They joined your newsletter. They called you. They've done something, but they're now physically engaging with you. 6,000 brand new people. Now let's just say 5% of those people buy today or sign up today or get your service today. What's the math there?
Oh, I mean, for me, like my shortest session is $250, for example.
$250.
Yeah.
So
how many did you say?
let's say the 6,000,
And
right?
then, okay.
250 times 6,000.
Divide that by 5% because those are the people who are going to buy your product today because they were searching for you today, just
Okay,
didn't know
so
who you
that's
are.
300 people.
300 people. Now 300 people times $250.
And that would be $75,000.
$75,000.
This month.
What would I tell you if our service cost $50,000?
Yeah. Yeah, you've made 25K profit.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it doesn't. What if
I did figure that it did.
Yeah.
But I think people sometimes they get stopped with, oh, I don't want to pay that much. But if it works, then
Okay, if you
Yeah.
sign up
It's a
today,
monthly- it's a
if you sign
monthly.
up today, it's 35,000.
Yeah.
Please
how
sign
do you-
here.
You get a discount.
How do you determine your pricing? I'm curious.
Yeah, so I mean, it's very simple. Our pricing is literally less than a cup of coffee per website.
Okay.
So if
Which
you went
which
to,
cup?
yeah.
Cup at
Are we
home?
talking
McDonald's.
at Starbucks,
Yeah.
like $5?
If you went to Starbucks and bought a
coffee or a latte?
yeah,
Wait, if I go to
He said
McDonald's, do I
he
get a
said
cheaper
coffee.
website?
That's a dollar
99 cents.
at McDonald's.
McDonald's $1.
Yeah, and then
But if she goes to
Starbucks,
Starbucks,
like
then hers
$7.
is $6, right?
Okay, so
Yeah.
which one is
Mine
it?
with the tip is usually about $6. So.
so our websites are $5.47 per website.
Per website.
Per website.
And you're going to build how many websites? I'm
So
sorry.
our minimum we like to say is 5,000, but we do allow people to come on and try us for 1,000 websites. So you can sign up for 1,000 websites. It's basically around 6K, right? You could take that 6K and flip it and make 75,000.
Yep.
It's a no-brainer.
You
Now, is this technology,
Yeah.
do you own it?
But
Yeah.
I really think to use this, you have to be converting, meaning like there's new business owners where they're literally not getting sales.
Right.
Like, because something's not right. I've seen a lot of new business owners pay for some kind of marketing, whatever it is, whether it's online or print or whatever, and they still don't make money. So I think you have to have a successful model, and then you do something like this just to increase the sales.
You do have to have conversion, right? You do have to have a great website. You do have to have an amazing shopping experience set up for your potential customers that are going to be
Right.
coming in. You do have to have a website that converts well, a high conversion rate. You do have to have something for them to opt in, because a lot of them aren't going to buy today, but they will buy 3 weeks from now, a month from now, 2 months from now, because they're constantly engaging with your brand out there in your funnel, right?
Crapshoot. So, but with what you do, it seems like there could be competition. Say you have, several lawyers that pays you or hires you. Now, I mean, where are they going to rank? Is it going to be dependent on how much they pay you?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're in beta, so we're traditionally, like right now, we're not even open to the general public. You have to know me. You have to be within my inner circle to be able to use our technology. We are going to be opening to the general public spring of this year, right? But if you know me, you came through a referral, we'll give you the technology at $5.47 a site. When we do open to the general public, that number is going to double, because we see the value in what we provide,
Got it.
right? But the good news about being involved with us during beta is that you get to test it full strength, right? 100%, and pay very little for it. When we have people come in during beta, we don't do any overlapping. So with lawyers, if we have a lawyer comes to us and they do personal injury, that lawyer gets personal injury. We're not overlapping. We're not giving personal injury out to anyone else. If we have another lawyer come to us and they do, say, slip and fall, they get slip and fall. We're not offering slip and fall to anyone else.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So during beta, like maybe for me, you're just going to give me the free service, right? And then I'll promote you for when you go live. How about that?
I don't know.
like-
Is that a real question?
By the way, she's the chief. By the way, I just want to share something with you.
Yeah.
This girl, first of all, you would think that I'm Jewish. You would think this girl's Jewish, one. Two, she's the cheapest millionaire that I know.
I'm
right?
Asian Jew.
She's on a show that's called Marrying Millions. I just don't get
I'm not
it.
cheap. I'm frugal, honey.
Frugal.
It's difference. There's a difference. Okay?
Frugalmillionaire.com. We have to look at that one. Frugalmillionaire.com.
Frugal millionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Gonna
better
get a
buy it
lot.
before I do.
So basically, this is your own technology, right?
Yeah, so we
But it-
create it from scratch.
So my main thing is I just feel like I keep seeing it now on social media. So are other people doing the same thing?
Not the way
It seems like
I
other
haven't seen
people-
anyone doing it the way that we're doing it, or even come close. Right now, like
It just seems like a
AI,
hot topic now. Like I see like on social media.
AI is right now is very fun, right? There's really no technical tools behind AI at this point. I mean, there's some companies out there doing really great things with AI as far as being able to help business owners like exceed and grow in their business by providing a specific AI that does a tool, maybe like task management or automatically responding to your emails, those kind of AIs. But right now, AI is still kind of fun. Like, use AI to create like images with voice, right? Create artwork with voice, interact with ChatGPT, right? But we feel like we're literally maybe 2 or 3 years ahead of the game. Because we're providing like a real tool for business to help them grow their businesses, grow their online authority, grow their online traffic, et cetera, right?
And
And do it in quick speed, because
Right.
we can do this in 12 weeks versus traditional SEO where you're waiting 9 to 12 months just
Really?
to see what you've created 12 months ago actually works.
Oh, interesting.
I just want to make a note too that so my website has enough traffic that I get pitched all the time for people who want to have a post on my site, like pay to be featured on my site in like a blog post or something, and the going rate is $30 per link that's inserted. So that's a lot cheaper. And mine's just literally like a link. Like they can pay me, okay, we're going to pay for 2 links. It's $60. And you're talking about like a whole kind of website feature.
Yeah, we're talking about
So that's a lot more that you're getting, you
Yeah.
know, but it is literally a business already. And I think you're just kind of taking it to a new level.
yeah, we're just throwing gasoline on it.
So if I was a plumber and I wanted to sign up with your company, I signed on today, when would I expect to see results in authority in respect to the plumbing, you know, plumber looking for
Few
more
weeks.
business?
Yeah, so
You work for this company now? I didn't know that.
she's trying to
He
get free
just
product
said
out of me.
She's like, oh, well, it just takes a few weeks.
He
and
just
get with
said
me.
that.
She's like, just get with me a little bit later. No,
So 8 to 12 weeks is basically our baseline. Yeah, it's 8 to 12 weeks.
8 to 12 weeks.
Now that's when all of our sites fully mature, right? So we say fully mature because remember we're building out 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 websites at a time. So we say 8 to 12 weeks for those sites to fully mature. When they fully mature, this is when we expect all of them to be indexing, ranking, and driving traffic. Think of 8 to 12 weeks as like the day the volcano goes off, right? But before the volcano goes off, every single site's going to individually index and rank on its own. So when it does, it's going to kind of offer this trickling effect of traffic, and the trickling effect kind of scales up to the day they mature. All sites mature.
But are you still getting business over those
You're
weeks?
still
It's
over
just
those
slower,
weeks.
right?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
getting it's trickling in like raindrops, and then the storm comes 8 to 12 weeks.
So if it's 1,000 websites at $5.47, so it's $5,470
yeah, during beta,
during beta. That's a one-time fee.
one-time fee, right? You pay for 1 month of advertising or marketing, I should say, because most people use our technology for marketing. But you pay for 1 month of marketing, we give you 2 months free.
1 month marketing.
2 months free.
2 months free.
Yeah, no
And then-
contract.
And then
What happens after that?
After that, after you've made some money, after you've seen the traffic and you're like gung ho all over our technology, then we invite you to come on for like a rolling contract month to month.
And what do you think a monthly contract would be if you're paying the $5,400 for the 1,000 sites? What would it cost to
there'll
maintain
be a
that?
monthly.
Yeah, it's a monthly maintenance and basically just to keep the traffic. And
What do
it'll
you
be
think?
50% of whatever you signed up at originally.
50%. 2,500
$2,500 to
roughly.
maintain the traffic.
per month.
Per month, yeah.
Okay.
And you think 1,000 websites is enough to get that going? Because it gets pricey depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can pay more.
Oh, yeah, but think of the traffic though.
I guess so. I mean, as long as the traffic's coming in, you're able to convert it.
Yeah.
But
So-
you have to
I
have a
think-
website, though, right? You have to have a website.
Well, we can send the traffic anywhere. We can
Yeah.
send it
He
to.
can make a landing page.
We can make a
Oh.
landing page if you don't, but we can also send it to your YouTube channel. We can send it to your Instagram, your LinkedIn.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
But I think I think this is probably a good business model for someone who has some kind of high value, high dollar product or service, right? Don't
Mm-hmm. Well,
you
I
think?
mean, we do have.
So that you basically the amount you're getting in, if you get a few sales or whatever, you're
Yeah, ideally that's what we go for. Like, well, I should say, ideally those are the people that come to us is they have some kind of high dollar, whether they're an online coach or they're a plumbing service, and they offer their plumbing services start at $6,000, right? So all they need is like literally 2 people to come on board within those 8 to 12 weeks to get their money back.
Yeah.
But we do have companies like CBD companies that come to us because they can't market anywhere else because they're restricted. They can't advertise on Google because of marijuana, right? Being associated with that, they can't do it on Facebook. So they're looking for alternative ways to get their brand out there and stand on the shoulders of their competition. So they come to us and they're like, hey, we only have a $35 product, but we have no other choice. We need to think proactively. We need to think outside the box. We need new technology to be able to make up for what traditional advertising isn't doing for us.
got it.
Gentille normally likes to barter her services, but you're a married man, so I guess she can't do it
No,
fast.
he actually does it for me now.
Yeah, he does.
She's pimping me out. I love her look when we say
He's been,
It's the
he's
best
been
look.
pimping me out for
Like, what
so
are these-
long.
it's like,
I
what
have
are
to
these two
pimp
up to
him
these
out
days
now.
over there?
Sometimes I don't know. Yeah.
All right, so listen, I think I get the gist of it. The bottom line is artificial intelligence. You have certain strategy and technology to basically help different businesses in order to grow. It's in beta testing. There'd be a fee after 2 months and so on to maintain the websites. 1,000 websites would be good to make the phone ring. You can set up a landing page. You can basically forward it to anywhere, YouTube, wherever you want someone to basically get traffic. Of course, a landing page is what you really want, whether you're a landscaper, whether you're a plumber, whether you're
The pool guy.
you're the pool guy. The pool guy. You missed a few episodes. But
Pest.
she normally dates
Pest
all the
control.
people that service her home.
Yeah.
So she probably would use this.
He's so
as-
full of shit.
She probably would use
Please
it to
don't
get
believe him.
more different employees.
Yeah, more vendors.
More vendors.
Yeah,
I'm
in
sorry.
my front door.
More vendors. Like, can I get more vendors to my home? Because I'm interested. It's true.
Yeah. I
So,
need all
Joe,
sorts of stuff.
How
in my
many people
house.
have you dated?
One.
By the way, I'll share a quick story of Gentille. You may not know this. People come like to fix things in our home all the time. In our home, right?
Right.
People they don't even
Charge.
they don't want to charge money.
They don't want to charge me.
They're just so
They're
in
so
love.
sweet.
They're so
No.
sweet in regards to her
No,
presence
and
is so. You know, her presence
Yeah.
is so like
Oh, yeah.
this.
Yeah.
That basically like, oh no, you don't have to give me the $1,000. I really enjoyed.
No, and I
fixing
want to charge.
your
I
toilet
want to
bowl,
pay them. I
you know?
really do. Yes.
She wants to
but
pay the people like to fix the the plumbing
Yeah, but
issue,
they-
Right.
or the toilet bowl that she clogged up. I'm joking. But the bottom line is like, no,
They
it was a
love that.
pleasure.
They
It was a
love being around
There was a
it,
pleasure
yeah.
fixing your shower.
Yeah.
No problem. Don't call me
Pleasure.
back anytime.
I mean, that's just amazing.
I actually, from now on, this is the new rule. If I have a problem in my house, she's going to come over. It's her
Exactly.
house.
Exactly.
I'm getting out of there. I'm going to go for a coffee break, and she's going to hang out of the house.
Sure.
Exactly.
That's a
Smart.
service.
Very
You can't
smart.
duplicate that in 1,000.
That, I know. It is a service.
It is a service.
Absolutely. Yes.
And then you get like
I'm
50%
useful.
of the savings.
I'm useful. Yes.
Imagine the plumber that goes to different homes throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, this is my home. Yeah, this is my second home, my third home.
Huh?
Yeah, you be a service. Like you go out to help other people get free services.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
And create 1,000
I'm
of
there.
it.
Yeah.
There you go. We're problem
Duplicate you.
solving.
It's almost like that service with the guys that wait online for you.
Yeah. You know about that?
Yeah.
What?
For
Yeah.
tickets
Explain
and
how that
things,
works.
like
So, yeah.
Ticketmaster release or whatever.
Yeah,
Or-
there's guys that every
It's
time
kind of like standing in line, but online.
They
Yeah.
stand in line for you. So if like it's a sweepstakes or something, or it's an event,
yeah, or the new
Those-
iPhone comes out.
yeah, you
right?
can pay someone to stand in line
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
because you're
Oh,
so
yeah.
lazy
Oh, wow.
that you need someone to stand in line for you.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely would use that service.
I
Yeah.
never looked up the website. I knew about it.
That's amazing.
It's probably like standtheline.com.
I don't
How
know.
much do
Yeah.
they get paid?
I have no
Like,
idea.
is it $15 an hour or something like that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
If you
You
Google, I
probably
saw a
get it
video.
for free.
Yeah. What are you talking about? It doesn't cost you anything.
I better
They pay
get,
you.
I better
They
get
pay
it for
her to
free.
clean her,
Yeah.
her house. Okay,
I
is there anything
wish.
else missing in regards to what you do? I think we get the gist of it. The bottom line is you are a rainmaker in regards to technology and business to help people. I think that's it, right? I mean, that's it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
your, it's
I
your
mean,
specialty.
what's
I mean, it's
really-
not like you really gonna bring-
Rainmaker, Rainman. What?
Rainmaker.
Rainmaker is
I
like
like
make
it.
someone
Making it
like
rain.
really big.
Yeah, let's stick with
Oh,
Rainmaker.
You see what I
You learn something new
see
every
what I
single day.
learn every day.
No, she's never had to have a rainmaker. She's
Well, I didn't
Naturally,
even know what that
um,
means.
abundant
That's Rainman.
in regards
I am.
to
The universe
abundance.
provides. Yes.
It's got a lot of candles,
Yes.
bathtubs,
A lot.
smoke signals.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So, anything else that you want to
It's like, what
add?
the hell are
Bottom
you
line is,
talking
listen.
about?
You're doing. First of all, look. I will. I want to share one thing with you. You mentioned in regards to being homeless. I mean, the bottom line is, look. No one lives a perfect life. We all go through different troubles in general. No, like I said,
Challenges.
Challenges.
Yes.
But I do feel, if you believe in like a little bit of mysticism, you know, in general, that whether God put you in that situation, so now you can basically help others. You know, like so sometimes right things happen to us, and then now you want to pay others and pay it forward. You probably wouldn't be doing this nonprofit work if you weren't in that situation. So
Yeah,
I mean, you are
for sure.
blessing others from your situation. Like I said, we all have had bad situations that have happened to us, and you want to make the best of it. And I think that's one of the lessons that anyone that's listening and watching us is that you need to pay it forward one way or the other. If you have a business or whatever it is, you should take a percentage of it and do something with it for good. It'll come back to you anyway, even though you shouldn't really do it for it to
that.
come back
Right,
to you.
yeah.
But you should do it to help mankind.
Yeah.
And we always want to help people. And actually, on this show, the whole point of somebody asked me like, "Why do you do it? Are you making money from solving people's problems?" I personally really enjoy helping people with problems or talking to them, giving advice. I was a cop for 17 years. My goal is always to share different resources. A lot of people are just like, wow, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I could do that. Or, like I always say, people want a job. Did you send 100 resumes out? No. Well, like, I went on to, Indeed, and I applied for 5 positions. I'm like, that's not getting a job. Like apply to 500 positions, 1,000. You're making 1,000 websites, 5,000 websites. Apply for 5,000 jobs. Send resumes, 5,000 resumes. Like do something, take action. And I think that's the goal with you is that you are creating business for people that, even though there's a service in the long run, maybe for us, maybe being individual businesses, but a lot of businesses spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing and SEO and backlinks and website and pages. So the truth is, it probably is a reasonable, even though, it is probably a reasonable rate in regards to beta testing. Now, if you start doubling and tripling it, then for a lot of single business owners, it may get more expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because she still has to, unless the phone rings a lot and she's converting, but, it's like, it's the same thing when you rent a store. I had a sun tanning salon, I'm not sure if you know, in New York City when I was young, my rent was $2,300. I had to sell a lot of tanning salon sessions just to pay my rent or just to pay that bill. So, I mean, as long as you can make it rain and make the phone ring.
I was gonna say something I didn't.
What'd you say? Is
She
it
made
good?
herself laugh.
She's only on the show actually to amuse herself anyway. So anyway,
But there's
I was trying to behave. That's why I didn't. I just said it in
all
my
right, so
head.
any other questions for Silo? Because I think we covered everything. He has a great story.
Thank you,
He's
Silo,
helping
for
giving
being
back,
here.
and now he's
Yeah.
helping people, business owners, create wealth in regards to his strategy, technology, his wisdom, and his craft.
Yeah, I mean everything that I do moving forward ever since I went homeless, and for me, like, I'm always. I'll put it this way: with Serving Hope, my experience with homelessness was a lot different than most people when they go through homelessness. I didn't have a car to sleep in because I gave my ex our only car.
Yeah.
I didn't have a couch to crash on because I didn't have any friends that would let me kind of sleep on their couches. So I slept in abandoned buildings and I ate food out of garbage cans. Right? And did that for 7 months. So when I got back on my feet, I knew the one thing that I wanted to do is go back into that community and give back and pay it forward and pay tribute to where I just came from. So,
How did you get on your feet? I'm sorry. I feel like I have to know
Missed that part,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So,
Because that's a tough place to be in, especially
get out of it.
psychologically.
Yeah.
To get out of that.
I mean,
space.
short answer is I had someone who believed in me before I believed in myself. And it was just a guy who just kept coming around and just like I would hang out at a 7-Eleven and I would hang out and I would just hang out there waiting for people to get out of their cars. And if they drove like sports cars, I would wait because usually people would change in their pockets who drive sports cars. When they get out, that change is going to hit the ground. And I would just sit there and wait and listen.
But you didn't go anywhere to ask for any help?
Nope, didn't. No, I knew the one thing that I wanted to do going through homelessness, I knew the one way for me to get out was not to find a permanent solution. So I didn't go to the food banks. I didn't do any of that stuff because if I did, I would get caught in the system. I would make a friend, God forbid, and then I'd still be homeless today.
Really? Were you angry? Were you, what were you feeling at that time?
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of emotions going through that, all right? A ton of emotions. But getting back to your answer, I just had someone who I would hang out at the 7-Eleven every day. He saw me hanging out there, and he came over, and he would just come by and be like, hey, man, you're going to be something big one day. I'd be like, dude, get away from me. Like,
I feel like he was like heaven sent for you.
Yeah.
yeah, and, I went 7 months without one single person saying my name. It's a very, very lonely world.
Yeah.
Very lonely.
Did
That's
you
what
not?
I think the hardest part of homelessness is the psychological aspect, really.
Yeah. So he kept coming around, and it's funny. He made the biggest impact in my life, but he never gave me $1. Mm-hmm. And he never
Just encouraging
me.
Yeah.
So I tell people today, I said, listen, if you want to go out and make a real difference in someone's life who's less fortunate, don't give them any money. Give them encouragement. Smile. Say hi. Hear their story. Listen to them.
Make them feel like a person.
Make them feel like a real person. Say their name.
Yeah.
What's your name, buddy? Brian. Brian. Good to meet you. Because that'll make the bigger impact than giving them $1.
Steve wanted me to ask you also, are you speaking with your mom again?
Yeah.
Oh,
Of
okay,
course, yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I don't know how he has all this
He's got-
information.
he's got
on
a
his
thousand-
phone.
He's been watching. He's been watching. Yeah.
He's got 1,000 websites at home that's tracking.
There's
right now.
there's a backstory. There's a backstory with my mom that we didn't get into. So
Yeah.
he saw that video. So thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
So her and I have a great story, a great relationship now.
now.
So going back, so everything that we do at Serving Hope, when I go out and serve, and we go out to serve as a community together as Serving Hope, literally all I'm doing is looking for the next version of myself. Like I'm looking for that guy I was
Yeah.
To help him.
to help him.
That's amazing.
That's all I'm doing.
Wow.
And I just happen to do it on a massive scale.
If you could
Right,
help,
so-
if you could help Gentille,
Yeah, I need help.
she needs a lot of help.
Lots, as you can see.
But we do
Psychologically.
we do everything. After going through that experience, I'm such a huge giver, but I'm also self-sustainable, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to take anything from no one. I just want to give, right?
Yeah.
And I'll earn everything that I receive, right? Whether it's having a successful business or it's
Sure.
doing successful relationships, I'm earning every step of the way, and I don't look for any handouts.
And how long has it
And-
been since you've been back to the, I guess,
Yeah, it's been
This
a few
world.
years back. Yeah, back on my feet for a few years
Okay.
now. And so, like
Few
I said,
years,
we've
okay.
had Serving Hope for 6 years, doing
Okay.
successfully, doing
Okay.
over 200,000 meals now. And with the new technology company, I'm still giving back because what I recently launched when we come out of beta is I'm going to be launching an accelerator for young youth who are interested in AI. And what I'm going to do is if they have a really great product idea, I'm going to fund their product.
Love it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so we're doing like $5,000 grants to best ideas to kids in AI who are interested in computing and stuff like that.
Wow. That's
All right,
awesome.
So we're going to work together with Silo in different ways. Whatever we do to help you and support you, we can put things on the problemsolver.vegas. If anybody wants to help Silo and Serving Hope, they can get in touch with the problem solver at 702-999-1111. Again, 702-999-1111. Silo, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank
Any
you.
last,
Thank you. Yeah,
any
pleasure.
other last words? You got everything out? I mean, is there anything we're missing that we missed? I feel like we
I
got
guess
it all
the
out
story
regards
of
to
my
this.
mom, but we get into that another time. Yeah.
You got a quick minute for it, or
Yeah, it's not too long.
Superfan
right?
Steve would want?
Yeah.
tell him.
Well, I think he's already seen it because he asked. But during my time when I was homeless, I can't tell you why, but the time that I was going through homelessness, my phone stayed on, my cell phone. Didn't pay the bill for like the entire time I was homeless, but my phone stayed on.
Okay.
Call it intervine intervention, call it whatever you want.
Was it your mom?
Nope.
Okay.
No one paid the bill and stayed on.
Wow. That's
Right.
amazing.
So I had a conversation where I called my mom, and I was at the end of it. I was at the end. I was really say goodbye. Like I basically had already planned it out in my head how I was going to kill myself. And I was like, I'm just going to jump in front of a city bus train doing 45, and that's it. I'm done. And I called my mom to give her my goodbye song, my goodbye story, my goodbye phone call. And so I called her, and I told her this is the first time she heard about me being homeless. And I called her, said, "Hi, Mom." She can hear the shakiness in my voice, and she was like, "What's wrong, baby?" And I said, "Well, I'm homeless. I don't know how to say this, but I've been eating out of garbage cans for 6 months." And so at this point, like I expected her, like she was my ace in the hole. It's your mom.
Yeah.
I expected her to be like, "Hey, don't worry about it. Like, I'll get you a plane ticket back to Jersey. You can sleep in your old bed. I'll make you chicken soup. Like, it's okay." Instead of her saying that, she said, "Well, why don't you go to a shelter?" So at that point, I was just like, "You know what, Mom? I'm done," and I hung up on her.
Wow.
That's the story he's
Yeah,
talking about.
that's what he's talking about for sure.
So at this time, I cannot tell you, but inside me was this incredible fire that just started to burn and
You were
exploded.
angry, and that gave you energy.
Yeah, I was extremely pissed at my mom for not saying those words, for not comforting me, for not offering to buy me a plane ticket and take me out of homelessness. So at that exact moment in life, I realized that no one was coming to save me.
And that's when you change your mind then? About
Everything, like a
your
light switch.
demise? Oh, wow.
And that day is when I just happened to meet Eric, and Eric's the guy who used to come around and tell me you're going to do great things.
That's amazing. So she was probably forced to say that.
Yeah,
in
she said
essence.
it in essence. She said exactly what I needed to hear for me to make that switch. And then since that day, my life has been completely different. It's been awesome.
So,
It's just
so from that perspective, it's
fabulous.
interesting. I will
Miraculous.
share with other people then that are listening as well, and all of us. I think I'm going to change in regards to what you just said. I think if you roll down your window, even if it's a quarter way or halfway, if you see someone that's homeless, acknowledge them like, "Hey, what's your name?"
Yeah.
They say, "I'm Nick," and they, "Hey, Nick, how you doing today?" Listen, and just treat them like a person. And even if you want to give a few words of encouragement, God bless you. Call 211, call United Way, get some help. You can do it. You don't have to be here. Make some change, take some action. Maybe some positive words will help some people. Maybe that message is what we can get out there to other people.
I like to say, like, the simplest thing you could do is wave.
You know what it is? You know what the problem with it is? Even like myself, it just feels a little awkward. It feels awkward. You feel, it's kind of one of the things that you don't want to see it. You just kind of like, but you really need to, do something.
Well, you feel you can't do anything about it,
I've given,
right? So you
I always
don't
get
wanna
off
see
at
it.
95 indicator. I bring the kids to school, and it's always the same guy, and I feel bad. We've given him some things in general, and I want to say more to him, but
Yeah.
sometimes you only have a few seconds. You're in your life, but it's a sad situation. But I feel like after talking today, I need to do more as well.
Yes.
And I've always helped homeless. I was a cop in the street. I used to put homeless people in the car and bring them to a motel. I was the only cop in Henderson, probably using the homeless voucher program. I would call Hope Link and get a case manager to come out. I used to go to different camps.
Oh, you're so
I used to do it all. I really,
awesome.
but these days that I'm not in uniform, I'm not out there.
Yeah.
You see people in the corner, you want to do more. I kind of wanted to make some packets up, to give people and stuff something more. But anyway, so if everybody that listens, that can do a little bit more and say hello and even acknowledge them as a
Yes.
human being, it makes a big difference. So I do agree with you. So I really appreciate you sharing that story. So,
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
It's
so
been a
much.
pleasure. Yeah.
So basically, things are normal now with Mom.
Yeah, things are normal now with Mom. Yeah, we're
Okay.
awesome. Yeah. So I forgave her, and then we had a long talk. We had that talk where, it was like
And how long has it been now since you've?
a few years now.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I said, we've had
Six-
Serving Hope
six,
for
7 years.
6 years, and now I started a new technology company. It's
I'm talking
been-
like both
Pay
of you.
attention.
Well, I didn't
Pay
exactly.
attention,
I want to
Colmeyer.
make sure we're on par here.
yeah, but it's an experience that lives with you. I mean, I can't tell you, that experience of like diving into, not to get really graphic, but diving into a dumpster and pulling out a half-eaten pizza that has ants on it and wiping off the ants just because you haven't eaten in 3 days. That sticks with you.
No, I'm sure it's a crazy story.
Yep.
I'm glad you got through it, and you're doing amazing things now. And I'm sure you're going to be extremely profitable, especially with technology and being in the right time now, with, the whole artificial intelligence, like people want to know more and more, and people are intrigued by listening, and even us, right? Everyone would want to be part of it. So I'm sure you'll be very successful, and I'm sure your mom and you yourself will be proud. I think a lot of times it's not even about the money; it's the success. Like to me, it's really the success part, not the money. That you've succeeded is the most powerful thing, not the money.
Yeah.
The money you need to survive, right? To go food and pay your rent or mortgage, but basically showing that you actually did it and where you were at one point in time, you took yourself to another level and you're successful. That is the huge reward of feeling of accomplishment. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even look at it that way. I just look at like, what's next? Let's bring it on. Let's do it. Right?
Good.
One thing I just feel guided from spirit to say, which is that whatever like horrible place that you are in or have been in, that you can have on the exact opposite polar end in terms of amazingness.
Yeah.
So whatever hole you're in, just imagine that there's this yin and this yang, and like if you go through, if you don't stop your life or you don't, give up, you can have just as opposite amazing, incredible, like, so it's like whenever I have a sort of dark night of the soul or just a shit day or whatever, I'm like, okay, something really great is coming if I can just get through this.
Yeah. As long as you hang in there long enough for the pendulum to swing in your favor.
Exactly.
That's really all you have to do.
And you don't give up.
And don't give up. Just hang in there long enough for the pendulum to swing in your favor, and you'll be a rock star.
In Buddhism, we say winter always turns into spring.
Yeah.
Always.
The problem solver says that if you expect 3 problems every single day, then basically you know that the problems are coming. So if you have one problem of the day or the second, if you know 3 problems are coming, it's not going to ruin your day because you're expecting problems.
Right.
So as long as you expect it, you know you can get through it.
But that's a
and I've always had the
terrible.
philosophy.
But that's
Why?
a terrible way to think, though,
Why is
because
that?
you
Yeah,
don't
you can attract
you don't
problems.
want to think that
No, but as long as
of
you're
the
prepared.
problems.
A lot of people.
No, you don't want to be prepared
no,
for
but you
that
have to
because
be
now you are
prepared.
inviting it.
You have to be prepared.
You
No, I'm
are
not inviting
attracting
it.
I feel like Shanti and I were saying kind of a similar thing. And
And then he went on the other side.
I always believe the following: if someone has a bad day, like even like my daughter, I'll say, look, if something happens to you, don't let it ruin it. If you expect a problem coming, it's not a big deal. You have to get through the problem, right? You have to be the problem solver. You have to get through the problem. It's not a big deal. It's how you get through it and how you basically train yourself to get through things and take action in a positive mindset. But if you expect the problems are going to come, like today.
We know what
today
you're
was a bad day.
saying.
You have to push through it, right? Did you have any problems today?
We know what you're saying. You're just going through the back door.
Yeah, I
You
hear
always go through the back
I hear
door.
the positive element of what you're saying, but I think don't expect problems.
Why are you always coming through the back door? Jesus Christ.
always talk about-
we are
you're-
going through the front door. You're coming through the back door.
You always talk about
Jeez,
that. You have
Dave.
backdoor accessibility
Yeah,
or something like that.
Kohlmeyer.
All right, so
Unbelievable.
real quick, did you have any problems today?
Not problems. I was
Nope.
very busy today. I just think if you expect problems, you will receive problems, and a different
I'm not
way.
looking for problems, but if they come,
Yeah,
I
but
feel
you
like
attract what you expect. So the different way to look
This
at
is
it, I think,
planet
is a little
Earth.
bit
Problems come.
better is to know that things happen. Sometimes shit happens or whatever.
Okay.
But then that doesn't mean that you have to go down the
I'm not looking.
rabbit hole.
Here's what I'll share.
Your glass isn't half full.
Listen,
it's broken.
We're from the East Coast. I'm from New York. He's from New Jersey. We expect problems. You have to push through and get through it. Would you agree? There's always going to be problems.
I would agree.
Y'all
Actually, I
pessimistic.
probably would not
Remember
agree.
that?
No.
I
I was trying to find a way to help you.
Cole
but-
Myers is a pessimist.
Everyone, no. I'm actually taking it very positive. I'm saying that if you expect problems,
no,
you
we
can
get
get
it.
through it. It's not a big deal.
We get
I
what
don't
you're
want
saying.
problems,
Yeah.
but if they come, you expect
Yeah.
them. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, we know what you're
like
saying.
young kids,
Well,
right?
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
if you stub your toe, people ruin their whole day. Just think, hey, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get through. I'm gonna get through the day. If there's other problems, it's not a problem. I'm gonna get through it. The whole to push through.
Let's just
That-
get
that's
you
the
that
point.
plug.
I would
Let's
say-
just get you the plug.
Well, it works for me. So you can either take.
Yeah.
You could take the celebrity psychic Laura's concept. You could take Dr. G, the
Buddhist.
frugal millionaire Buddhist.
Buddhist.
Or you could take
Yeah,
Dave Cole, my
philosophy.
retired police officer, 17 years, grew up in New York City, the streets,
Yeah, back door.
and the problem solver. So
Backdoor-
anyway,
backdoor
with that
philosophy.
being said, Silo, thanks for joining the
Thank you
show.
so much.
We appreciate you sharing your story. I know it's emotional as well. I can see it through your eyes.
Yeah, thank
I mean,
you.
again,
Yeah.
as a East Coast brother, I commend you for what you're doing and that you got through this.
We've said
the
bye to
situation.
Silo like 3 times.
I know, we keep saying
We're still not
it's
finished.
Good. It's an intriguing conversation. But anyway, Laura, thanks so much for co-hosting.
Thank you.
Dr. G, thank you as usual. And as usual, be safe, be careful, stay away from problems, be positive. We'll see you next week and be safe.